Two people bought the same house, same street, same day, same price, same $350,000 mortgage, same 6.92% rate, same $2,310 monthly payment. And both of them found an extra $500 a month to do something smart with. One of them will end up $381,000 richer than the other. Neither of them made a mistake. That is the strange thing about this decision. There is no villain here. Nobody gambled. Nobody got unlucky. Two disciplined people, identical incomes, identical homes, made two reasonable choices with the exact same $500, and 30 years later, one account has an extra $381,000 sitting in it. Understanding why is one of the most useful things you can learn about your own money. Because almost everyone who owns a home eventually stands exactly where these two people are standing. Let us call them Chris and Sophia. They are both 32. They both earn $95,000 a year. They both bought a $420,000 home, put $70,000 down, and borrowed the same $350,000 at the same rate. Both have a full emergency fund. Both capture their entire employer 401k match. Neither carries any high-interest debt. This matters enormously, and we will come back to it because everything that follows only makes sense after the foundations are already in place. This is not a story about reckless people. It is a story about what happens to the next $500. Chris makes his payment and sends an extra $500 straight to principal every month. Sophia makes the identical payment, sends nothing extra to the bank, and puts her $500 into a total market index fund. Same money, same start date. Two completely different destinations. Now let us run the actual math, both sides, no agenda. Problem 1. The amortization trap. To understand why Chris feels so powerful, you have to understand how a mortgage actually charges you. In month 1 of a 30-year loan at 6.92% of Chris's $2,310 payment, about $2,018 goes to interest, and only $292 touches the principal. Read that again. In the first month, 90% of what he pays evaporates as interest, and barely a tenth actually reduces what he owes. This is not a scam. It is just arithmetic. Interest is charged on the balance, and at the start the balance is enormous, so the interest is enormous. That ratio shifts over time, but it shifts slowly. 5 years in, Chris is still paying more interest than principal on every single check he writes. And this is exactly why an extra dollar sent early is so devastatingly effective. A dollar of principal knocked out in year 1 stops accruing interest for the entire remaining life of the loan. The same dollar in year 20 barely has time to matter. Early principal is the highest leverage move in the entire mortgage. So when Chris adds $500 a month, the effect is dramatic. He erases 140 months, nearly 12 years, from his timeline. He will be mortgage-free at 50 instead of 62. And over the life of the loan, he saves $212,557 in interest. That number is real. It is guaranteed. It does not depend on the stock market, the news, or his own nerve. When the loan is gone, $2,810 a month, his old payment plus his extra $500, is suddenly his again. Those are genuine, meaningful advantages, and any honest analysis has to start by admitting that. Problem 2, the opportunity cost. Now walk across the street. Sophia looked at the exact same $500 and asked a different question. Not how much interest can I avoid, but how much can this money earn somewhere else? Her mortgage rate is 6.92%. That is the guaranteed return Chris is locking in. But the total market index fund she is buying, tracking the entire United States stock market at an expense ratio of 0.03%, has historically returned about 10.5% a year over the last 3 decades. To stay conservative, she models it at a flat 10%. Here's the whole argument in one sentence. If the market returns 10% and her mortgage costs 6.92%, then every dollar she invests instead of prepaying earns more than the interest it would have saved. The spread is 3.08 percentage points. That sounds tiny. It is not. Compounded on a growing balance for 30 years, that 3.08 point gap becomes a mountain. This is the quiet engine of the entire comparison, and it never appears on a single mortgage statement. But be honest about the catch. Chris's 6.92% is guaranteed, risk-free, and completely immune to what the market does. Sophia's 10% is a historical average, not a promise. In any given year, the market can and does fall hard. Her strategy only works if she stays invested through every crash, every panic, every ugly headline for 3 straight decades. That discipline is the price of admission. Hold that thought because it comes back with a vengeance. Problem 3. The year-by-year reckoning. Let us actually watch these two accounts grow side by side. At year 5, both are 37. Sophia has put in $30,000 and her account is worth about $38,000. Chris has sent $30,000 extra to his mortgage and saved roughly $28,000 in interest. It is close. Chris's home equity is actually ahead. If you stop the tape here, you would call it a tie. Year 10, age 42. Sophia has contributed $60,000 and her account is now about $102,000. Chris's interest saved is around $95,000. Sophia has just nosed ahead, and here is the crucial part. Her account is now growing faster every year because compounding works on the whole balance, not just the new deposits. The gap is only about $7,000, but it has started opening and it will never close again. Year 15, age 47. Sophia's account, roughly $208,000. Chris's interest saved, about $178,000. The gap is now $30,000 in Sophia's favor. But Chris is closing in on the finish line. He is just 3 years from owning his home outright, while Sophia still has 15 years of payments ahead of her. Year 18, age 50. This is the pivotal moment. Chris makes his final mortgage payment. He owns his home free and clear. At 50 years old, 12 years early, his total interest saved $212,557. Sophia, at that exact moment, has about $340,000 in her brokerage account, but she still owes roughly $196,000 on her house and still has 12 years of payments left. On paper, Sophia has more, but Chris has something powerful. $2,810 a month, completely freed up. And Chris is not done. From 50 to 62, he pours that entire freed-up payment, $2,810 a month, into the very same index fund Sophia has been using all along. Nearly 12 years of that grows to about $749,000. Impressive. But watch what happens to Sophia. She just kept quietly compounding the whole time. Year 30, age 62, the full picture. Sophia's account, from 30 years of $500 a month at 10%, is worth approximately $1,130,000, and she just made her final mortgage payment too. Chris's account, from his late but heavy investing, is about $749,000. Both own their homes. Both are mortgage-free. The difference in the brokerage accounts is $381,000 in Sophia's favor. That is the number. Same $500, same start, one deep breath of patience, and $381,000. Problem 4. The honest counterargument. If this video stopped there, it would be lying to you, because there are 5 specific and serious reasons Chris's strategy is genuinely the right call for a great many people, and this channel is not going to pretend otherwise. Reason 1. The guaranteed return. Paying off a 6.92% mortgage is a risk-free, guaranteed 6.92% return on every dollar. In a world where high-yield savings pay 4 to 5% and bonds pay maybe 4 to 6, a guaranteed 6.92 is genuinely exceptional. The market has never once guaranteed 10%. It has averaged it. There is a universe of difference between those two words. Reason 2, sequence of returns, risk. If Sophia's market performs badly in her first 10 years, exactly when her account is smallest, the damage compounds against her for the rest of her life. The decade from 2000 to 2010 delivered roughly 0% for the S&P 500, 2 crashes in 10 years. Had Sophia started then, her real account would look nothing like the tidy model. Chris's payoff, meanwhile, performs identically no matter what the market does. Reason 3, the behavioral tax. The spreadsheet assumes Sophia never flinches for 30 years. Real humans flinch. A 2026 Dalbar study found the average equity fund investor earned about 6.3% annually over 30 years, against the market's 10.7% purely because of bad timing and emotional selling. If Sophia's real return is 6.3 instead of 10, most of her advantage disappears. The market does not punish you. Your own instincts do. Reason 4, the value of ownership. Chris owns his home at 50. If he loses his job at 51, he does not lose his house. His fixed costs drop by $2,800 a month overnight. For someone approaching retirement, the absence of a mortgage payment is one of the single most powerful risk reduction tools in personal finance, and it does not fit in any spreadsheet. Reason 5, the tax deduction is mostly gone. With the standard deduction now sitting around $30,000 for married filers, the overwhelming majority of homeowners, including Chris and Sophia, get no tax benefit at all from their mortgage interest. The old line that mortgage debt is cheap because it is deductible simply does not apply to most people anymore. So here is the honest resolution. The one number the whole debate actually turns on. The break-even is your mortgage rate. If the market beats your rate over the long run, investing wins. If it exactly matches your 6.92%, both strategies land in precisely the same place. And if you know in your bones that you will sell in the next crash, the guaranteed payoff quietly becomes the smarter bet, no matter what the math on paper says. Chris is not wrong. He traded $381,000 of expected upside for certainty, and certainty has real value. Sophia is not reckless. She made a calculated, historically supported bet and accepted the risk that came with it. The right answer depends on your rate, your age, your discipline, and how much you personally value the word certain. The only truly wrong move is the one most people make, which is deciding without ever running the comparison. And that is the whole point of this channel. The math is not hidden. Your bank simply never runs it for you. Understanding money is your best defense.